Now at the end of this 60-day retreat, a representative of the male yogis and female yogis spoke about their experiences and gave their thanks. And Sayadaw is very glad to hear what these yogis had to say. So, as far as what Sayadaw wants to say, he wants to respond to the efforts that the yogis have made and that others have made so that everything will work well during this retreat. And he wants to respond to the respect that has been shown to the Dhamma with a message to the yogis on their departure. And Mahasi Sayadaw also would give such a message to the yogis when they depart. One, that the yogis would not forget their entire lives, to encourage the yogis and also to show the respect to the Dhamma. When Mahasi Sayadaw would do this, when the yogis had practiced to a satisfactory extent. For yogis to practice as they want, to have what's required in every way, as far as water and food, shelter, support for health and so on. Providing these isn't something that Sayadaw could do alone. And it's been done with the help of donors both from abroad and locally, providing whatever is necessary, donating food and buildings and so on, bedding. All these things have been provided by donors. And with regard to health also, although the situation is not perfect, help as much as possible was provided. So, in support of Sayadaw's work, the people who have both a lot of people with a lot of virtue, knowing what was needed to support the yogis, they supported Sayadaw's work by providing good food and housing and support for health in every way people provided. And the yogis too. Not only observing Sila and Bhavana, they also did donations. So relying on all these, the yogis were able to come here and practice satisfactorily. And to help them is very beneficial. So Sayadaw is sending his metta to everyone involved, wishing that all may be well and happy. So what Sayadaw observed is that there were more donations of food made by the foreign yogis than there were by the local yogis. And as Sayadaw said, among what one must do, one must do dana, and one must keep sila, and must also practice as much as possible. So with the things that one's obtained, the material goods or money one's obtained by legal means, then one does dana. And in doing dana, one has the wish that others be healthy and happy. One puts metta at the at the fore, and when one donates, and the recipients will surely be happy getting what they need, whether it's food or shelter, medicines or other needs. People are happy to have this support. So the yogis who provided like this for the donors who provided like this for the yogis with metta at the fore, and not just having in mind their own little self, their own individual benefit. Such dana is high-level dana. Dana becomes powerful when it's infused with metta. And the result of this is that one will be able to be patient with one's family. One will be able to forgive and to make sacrifices and to do what is beneficial for the whole. These abilities grow because of doing dana that is infused with metta. So, if we don't have metta, then we won't have the ability to be patient. We won't have any ability to be considerate of others or to make sacrifices or to consider what is good for the whole family or group. But with doing metta, with doing dana, having metta at the foreground, then these good qualities line up after metta, and they come into one's being. So with true metta, there's no room for hatred. And sympathy, karuna, is also comes. One wants to dispel suffering. One wants to dispel others' suffering. And when one does dana, understanding that when we do good, a good result will come. When we do bad results, then our giving is very clean. So the yogis who came here to practice have been able to do this type of dana, and the results are that they will have the needed support in this life and in future, and also they will have the willingness to help others with what they have. And in this way, they'll be able to hold their head up high in human society. In donating things, when one doesn't look for the benefit that dana can bring as far as just one's individual prosperity, but when one does dana wanting peace through the practice, this dana is very high level. Such dana is very clean. When one doesn't want one's own fame or glory, so one has the understanding of what is suitable and what is beneficial. Sappaya sampajanya, that is knowing whether something is beneficial or not, and sappaya sampajana, which is knowing whether it's suitable or not. And with these two, the way is open further to good moral behavior. So when one has metta, then there's no anger. And because of that, it becomes easy to keep basic morality. So the Buddha and the wise, they praise this type of dana, which is done with the aim of peace. So in keeping morality, if one keeps 5 precepts or 8 precepts or more, then one's physical and verbal behaviors, one is able to control them because of the fear that one has regarding misdeeds. One just is disgusted by misdeeds, and one also fears the results that will come by doing them. And so one is able to control one's physical and verbal behavior through sila. So thus one protects others. So dana, giving material things, it just provides material help. But sila prevents others from suffering due to one's actions, and so therefore it's higher level, it's better. So one protects others and also protects oneself at the same time. As Sayadaw said, 2 at a blow, or 2 for the price of 1. And so when one has hiri and otapa, moral shame and moral dread, then one will control oneself. And controlling oneself, others won't be harmed. Not only that, but one won't gain bad results. One won't be in the wrong. So this is 2 at a blow. And one, through having metta, through doing dana, one can gain ease regarding keeping sila. So it's said that one must avoid physical and verbal misdeeds. And if one does so, according to this instruction, then both one's physical and verbal behavior will be clean. They'll become gentle, refined, and lovable. But the mind is not yet under control with these. So, as the saying goes, one has to note at the moment of arising with aiming and effort. One has to observe every arising object with aiming and effort at the moment that it occurs. With aiming and effort, sati, mindfulness, arises and sticks to the object. The mind falls calmly and collectedly on the object, and it doesn't run anywhere. So the mind is clean. And not running anywhere, the mind doesn't develop to the unwholesomeness. So if there's one wholesome mind arising, one after another, then the mind is secure from mentalities such as wanting to kill, or wanting to harm others, or thinking that there's no result when one does good or bad. So yogis who've come here to practice get this kind of benefit. And one sees that one's mind is peaceful and realizes, oh, this happened due to the practice. One has achieved this type of kusala. So from here, if one continues to practice till one's knowledge is developed, then one comes to see with the 3 kinds of full understanding, with the 3 kinds of parinyas. First of all, one discerns physicality and mentality, and seeing thus, one no longer sees what's not there. One sees what is there, and therefore the view that there's a self is dispelled. And when one continues to observe, one sees how the physicality and mentality are related as cause and effect. This cause gives result to a relevant effect. This effect arises due to that cause. And one sees how the various cause-effect relationships between phenomena, and one understands then that this doesn't happen without a cause, and also that there's no creator that is causing it, and there's no self that's causing it. So one overcomes these views that are false, and the mind becomes clean and clear. So without Vipassana knowledge, there will be the thought that things are permanent and that what we experience is good and that there's a self. These misperceptions are only dispelled with Vipassana knowledge, beginning with seeing the three characteristics. So, when due to Vipassana practice, development of Vipassana knowledge, these false beliefs cannot exist in one's mind. And when Vipassana knowledge is mature, one will realize Nibbana, and then the worst of these wrong beliefs will be uprooted. So, in walking the path of Satipatthana, one gains many, many forms of kusala, many forms of wholesomeness, both concentration, the kusala of concentration and the kusala of Vipassana. The Buddha said that the practitioner of Vipassana develops faith. And this is so. So initially, we have sila, we have basic morality, and applying the practice, the mind becomes clean and knowledge develops. Developing knowledge, one reaches the point of having clear, strong faith in the Dhamma. So such a person will understand what is good and suitable, what is both beneficial and suitable for the world, and will be able to help. So in the Buddha's time, devotees, understanding the Dhamma, had great faith, and they looked to see then what is needed for the yogis, what is suitable for the yogis, and what was needed they provided, what was suitable they arranged for it. And therefore having the conditions that were suitable, containing what was needed and suitable for the yogis, the yogis then, having them, the suitable conditions, were able to practice satisfactorily. So yogis who have practiced satisfactorily, who can understand the Dhamma to some extent, are able to not only do what is good for themselves for their own benefit, but they're able to know what is good for others, so they can carry out this two-pronged work of benefiting themselves and benefiting others. So, other forms of kusala that have been performed in this retreat. So, one has been respecting those who are worthy of respect, apasayana. And also, there's the kusala of vayavacha, helping others in an ordinary way. And every day, we've been sharing our merits. That's patanumodana. Sharing patidana. We've been sharing our merits, which is patidana. And we've also been rejoicing in the merits of others, the good deeds of others, by calling out sadhu. We've been listening to the Dhamma. And hearing the Dhamma, we also want to share it with others. And one's belief has been straightened. One has gotten a straight mental attitude through doing the practice. So all these things are called Punya Kriya Vittu. Sayadaw used the word Punya Kriya Vittu, and this is made up of three parts: Punya, Kriya, and Vittu. The meaning of Punya is that it cleanses the life of the one who performs these types of kusala. It removes that dirt, it removes behavior, wrong behavior, it cleanses one's mind. So it said, in essence it means that it cleanses the life of the one who performs the kusala. So in our practice, doing dana results in our being able to hold our heads up high in society. We won't be lacking what we need when we do dana. That's the result of dana. And sila corrects our behavior so that it's lovable. Samadhi provides stability of mind. And when Vipassana knowledge arises, in stages one overcomes misbeliefs so that one's view becomes straight. So this Dhamma, these acts of dana, sila, samadhi, bhavana are needed, what should be done. They're what should be done with one's being. And because there's something that should be done, they're called kiriya, these forms of kusala. And vatu means base. So these acts of kusala are a base for exceptional happiness to arise. So in sum, it means, this word punya kiriya vatu means the kusala acts which should be done, which cleanse one's life and are the base of exceptional happiness. And the yogis who have been practicing here have revealed the meaning of this phrase by their practice. So the foreign yogis and some local yogis as well have been practicing here. And during this time, we've been performing these punya kiriya vatu. So one of these is dana, and another is sila punya kiriya vatu, and also bhavana, and there's more. So these are like trees, dana and sila and bhavana, that we've been practicing here, are like trees that we've planted in our garden. And the trees have been planted, but they still need to develop and come to maturity. So the yogis have the responsibility of maintaining their garden. After planting these trees, these plants, one can't just let them go. So if one does, then one won't get the benefit of having planted the trees. So these trees that are now sprouted in one's garden, dana and sila and bhavana, one has to apply forestry techniques in order to manage one's garden. So the first of these is that one has to look and see, are some plants crowding out others. So you don't want to have less desirable plants crowding out the more desirable and more beneficial plants. So one has to think about these three types of kusala, dana, sila, and bhavana. Now, of these three, the bhavana is the best form of kusala. So if in our practice we give any time to doing dana, for example, then the time for bhavana, there won't be enough left for the bhavana, the tree of bhavana. So one has to pull out the less desirable trees in favor of the more useful plants. So in this way, the trees with good prospects, if they have enough space, if they're not crowded, they'll be able to grow. So one has to give priority to the tree, the bhavana tree, that will give the best result. And also when the tree becomes ready for harvest, then in order to fell it easily, one needs to wring it by pulling off the bark in a circle to make it easy to make it die. Okay, so now that we've planted these saplings of dana, sila, and bhavana, when a sapling has been planted, then weeds can threaten the sapling, because weeds are strong and they can cover over the saplings so that the saplings don't get enough light, and they can also drink the water that would otherwise be drunk by the young saplings. So thus the trees that we've planted, the saplings that have been planted, don't thrive. So one has to pull the weeds. And in the same way, in our beings, we've planted these trees of dana, sila, and bhavana. They're saplings. And what can threaten them are the weeds of kilesas. If they're left unchecked, they can destroy our saplings of dana, sila, and bhavana. So Sayadaw hopes that you will be able to dispel the weeds of kilesas when you go home. And the second thing that we have to tend to is to get rid of the things that we don't need, get rid of the things in our garden that are not needed. So don't do what is kusala but not really kusala. And what Sayadaw means by that is, when we give something that's for our selfish benefit, of course we're giving, but that's an example of dana that is not true dana. So don't do that. And then also, for this tree of bhavana to thrive, it needs to have sila, which is like the fertilizer. So one has to apply the fertilizer of sila in order for the bhavana tree, the sapling, to continue to thrive. So we need to give preference to the sapling of bhavana so that it can thrive. And understanding this, when one thinks about the punya kriya vrittu, these deeds which are the base, these deeds which cleanse one's being and are the base for exceptional happiness, one has to eliminate dana that is not true dana. And one also has to not neglect the sila. Sila must be kept cleanly. And one has to give preference to the tree of bhavana until such time that it can bear fruit. And Sayadaw would like to say in conclusion that he hopes all the yogis, when they arrive home, will be able to do this so that one's being becomes a field of Vipassana, a field of kusala. That's Sayadaw's concluding remark. May this merit of ours be for the destruction of the taints, the asavas. May this merit of ours be the support and cause for the realization of nibbana. We distribute this merit, a portion of this merit, to all beings. May all beings receive a portion of this merit and, gaining it, be happy. Be happy. Be happy.